Alright, what's up everybody? So we are on Season 3, Episode 3 of Attack on Titan, and this might just be the longest intro that I'm going to be recording in front of an episode, so far at least, because there is a lot for us to be reflecting on, and there is a lot of reflecting I myself have been doing in these past couple of days, since watching the previous two episodes, which I have pointed out were very overwhelming to me in all honesty. A lot of information there, and apparently, according to my patrons, I still did a relatively good job of like catching most of the stuff that was going on. But again, and it's a running theme with this show, you're thinking about one thing that's being revealed to you while more stuff is happening all at the same time, and it's like, damn, it becomes so much that you're really required to, I guess, kind of reflect on things and go over them a second time. And, you know, if you really want to get what's going on and be thinking about it in advance and stuff, then yeah, this is not really a show I feel that you can binge. Like, I feel like a lot of people might have been doing that, but really, the way I'm watching it right now, I feel like it is kind of the best way to do it in the first place, to have there be some time in between there for you to be thinking about what's actually happening and what's the full scope of what is going on. Because yeah, it's a lot. So the last episode obviously ended with a pretty major detail, is that Historia, Krista, is apparently the successor to the throne, so to say, and this makes a whole lot of sense with everything that we've been hearing about Krista in the past and how she had to change her name and why the military police is in such an uproar trying to control this situation, I guess. It's because there's a king there in charge who does not want this detail to be out there, but that is where we're going right now, and obviously very interested to see what's gonna unfold in that regard. There was a different thing, however, that I apparently did not react to in while watching the previous episode at all, and it was a pretty big thing, is that Kenny, one of the new characters, Kenny the Ripper, revealed how Levi's last name is Ackerman, right? Or Ackerman, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but people pointed out, well, Robin, you should know by now in the show that that's the exact same last name that Mikasa has, right? And it's actually funny because now I myself will have to confess something, is that I've known about this to some extent already for a while now, actually. It's like the only thing, and I hadn't even brought it up anymore because honestly, this is a detail that had gone completely lost on myself. I hadn't even been thinking about it anymore, but this happened, I think, about 2 months ago, where... And I try not to look up anything about this show, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm not in any way trying to get myself spoiled in advance because I don't want to ruin anything for myself. But for some reason, I had stumbled across the names of, or like a character list or something, right? And I noticed there that it said Levi Ackerman. And it's funny because at the time when I read that, I had not made the connection to Mikasa. So actually, I feel like if I would have watched this episode now and had that revealed to me, I still wouldn't have made the connection in the first place. But I think it was then later at some point when I watched the OVA for Levi, right? No Regrets. I watched that OVA and there was a scene there where there was this nice little montage with music playing and it was like German singing and German subtitles. And I was asking about that at the time. Like, why is it actually that they're using this German song here? That seems kind of out of place. And then people on Patreon pointed out to me like, well, notice how a lot of the characters in this show have German names as well. And I was kind of going over that in my head at the time, right? And again, this is like weeks ago. Like, oh yeah, you've got Sasha Brous and you got Reiner and Mikasa Ackerman. And then I thought like, and you have Levi. And I'm thinking in my head, oh wait. Like at that point I realized that like I had read his name and it was the same name, the same last name that Mikasa had. And at that point I realized like, oh shit, this is something I'm probably going to find out about later. Like, they're going to be related. And so again, it's like the only thing so far, I can guarantee that to you, that I feel like I kind of knew in advance, like, oh, they're going to do something with this. But again, I had at the same time forgotten about it completely by now because there was so much other stuff to be dealing with. But yeah, I guess, again, that they are then related to some extent, and I still don't know what the full details of that are. Are they like just siblings, brother and sister? I mean, we have seen Mikasa's parents literally in that flashback episode, episode 6. So that would make me wonder, like, okay, if they turn out to be brother and sister, then what actually happened, right? Did Levi just kind of go missing, or was it something that they never told Mikasa about, or what is up with that? And Levi clearly doesn't know either, so maybe they just, yeah, again, like, maybe they could be siblings, but they grew up in completely different places. I have no idea. Maybe they're cousins. Again, the full extent is something that I guess I'll be learning about later on in this season. But yeah, I'm already recording for 5 minutes and I've not even gone over the most important things that I've honestly been thinking about these last couple of days. One little detail, because I literally wrote it down here just to make sure that I touch on everything. One detail people also pointed out is how I kind of miss... I'm not sure how to put that, but I overlooked like what they were actually doing with Eren there in the beginning of episode 1, where Hanji specifically mentioned they were trying to use his hardening ability or trying to get him to learn that or something, because they're planning on using that to seal up the first wall now too, the wall that actually broke down in the, I think at the very beginning of the show, right? So that's something that I didn't get at the time because I just thought it was about Eren kind of catching his stamina back and regaining his usual Titan abilities. But no, it was actually about them also trying to get him to practice and teach this completely new ability that we've seen Annie actually use herself at the end of season 1. So they're trying to use that hardening ability that apparently some Titans have, to seal up the wall, like I said, from the very beginning of the show. But the main thing that I've actually been thinking about these last couple of days, right, has just been about Reiner, Bertholdt, and Annie, and the bad guys, so to say, right, as I have been calling them up until now the whole time. Because we haven't seen them in these last 2 episodes, and I feel like it's gonna be a while till we see them back, but there is still something there that, like, I just don't understand the full scope of it. Everything is becoming clear to me about these characters that, like, while they are the bad guys, they are not enjoying what they're doing. They are not doing it because they feel good about it, right? Reiner's psyche has clearly been messing with him the whole time, and so has literally been selling himself the lie that, like, oh, I'm also part of the Survey Corps doing the right thing, right? It was just kind of to tell himself, like, oh, I'm a soldier as well. I'm a good guy too, or something, right? Bertholdt, like, he doesn't say anything, but he is in, like, a everlasting state of depression, it always seems. If you're just looking at his facial expressions, like, his facial expression is one of constant sadness. When I look at his character, all that he does is, like, look like this. Just sad the whole time. You know what I mean? And like I said, he doesn't say much else than that. Annie, I remember... like, Annie is a very silent character herself, but she had that one moment where she was exposed as being the female Titan back at the end of season 1, and she had that creepy smile, like maniac laughing sort of scene that happened, right? And that definitely made her seem kind of like a bad person, but maybe it was also just that, like, the whole scope of the situation is weighing on her too much, I figured. And, you know, that's the thing. I watched the recent OVA, which was Lost Girls, right? The part 1 and 2, where we went a little bit more into her backstory too. And there was apparently something going on with her dad talking to her about the whole world might hate you, but you're here for this purpose that you have. And realize that I will always love you, the dad said, or something like that, I feel like it was. And you know, just realize the mission that you're on or something like that. And again, so I've just been thinking, like, what is their motivation? The only logical explanation that I had so far for what they are doing, destroying humanity apparently there in the beginning, right, of the show, is like, oh, they might be threatened by the people that they're working for or something. Maybe they're, like, threatening their family or something, and that's what they're doing. I don't know. I mean, it sounds ridiculous when you really think about it, right? And so, again, I can't substantiate this. I can't make it any more concrete than I am right now because I don't know the full scope of the situation. But I was just kind of thinking, like, okay, what if they, again, are doing this for a much greater purpose that we just don't know about yet? And what could that be? What could a much greater purpose be that warrants trying to destroy humanity or something, right? And so, again, it's like, it's so weird to me because I can't figure it out. There is clearly something where they're trying to... That's the one thing that I was kind of thinking of, like, what is the whole deal with this certain coordinate that they now figured out Eren is the coordinate or something, right? Or I'm not sure really what that is supposed to be in any way, but clearly they feel like that's something bad. that's what they're going after, this coordinate person or whatever, ability, or I don't know what it is. But could it have been that they tried to kind of destroy humanity previously, as in like, yeah, literally killing all those humans there at the beginning of the show, just to make sure that the person who had this coordinate ability or something would not be able to have it? I was thinking about, but what would that be about then? Yeah, again, I have no idea, guys. And like, this is just what I've been thinking about. Like, okay, maybe they themselves have this motivation that where they feel like, okay, what they're doing is still very messed up, but they're doing it for a greater purpose or something like that. I don't know. I don't know why otherwise they would feel so bad about what they're doing nonetheless, because they clearly don't want to be killing all these people. And what they did to Marco there, which we've seen teased again in that OVA, dude, that was like affecting them so much. They were like haunted by what they were doing in that moment. So I just can't really make sense of it. Also, it was mentioned, I just keep going on, it's been 11 minutes, but they also mentioned how they were going to have Eren eaten, apparently, right? And what was that about? I was not really sure why. I think it was Hanji who figured out that, like, oh, they were about to have Eren eaten. Yeah, that might have been to kind of steal his power or something, right? And that's what we learned as well, is like Ymir. So there's Ymir as well, right? And Ymir mentioned how she actually kind of understood Reiner and Berthold and Annie's, I guess, mission that they had. She said she literally understood it. And I'm like going, well, the only way you can kind of understand this is, again, that there is a good motivation behind doing it. But we know that Ymir actually, she as a Titan ate one of Reiner's friends, and like it was mentioned again how she stole the power of the Titans in some way, right? And I didn't realize what that meant, because it made me go like, okay, but she, I mean, eating that person couldn't have done that because she was already a Titan, right? So what is the power of the Titans? And then I figured like, no, wait, actually she turned into a Titan. She was thrown off that wall and then turned into a Titan. So maybe some faction or some people or the military police, or I don't know who it was, they actually kill people and they become Titans. And then her eating that friend of Reiner was about being able to turn back now or something like that. Dude, again, it's a whole laundry list here of shit that I've been thinking about, and I feel like I'm making progress regarding like, okay, I'm thinking a little bit further than the average person would be now, and than I myself was at the time, and I'm starting to kind of put the puzzle pieces together, but obviously still here there is a lot to overall just kind of get answers on, right? So I feel like we should just kind of get into the episode now, and this intro might be enough to warrant not really doing too long of a review at the end, but we'll see about that. Yeah, nonetheless, let's just actually get into the episode. And of course, I should mention that if you enjoy my reactions here, then you can already watch the next 5 episodes over on my Patreon, which will be linked on top of the description. All my OVA reactions to the 5 OVAs I've reacted to are up there as well. Full-length reactions if you want to watch the entire episodes with me. We even started a little Discord community with all the patrons now. So if you're actually looking for people to talk about regarding this show and stuff, obviously the last season should be going on now. If you're looking for a cool little community to be talking with, then we have that Discord server there now too, and we'd love to have you on board. So yeah, would be of course awesome if you would join it. But yeah, that's all there for you to check out if you want to. My Patreon is linked on top of the description, like I said. And then for now, let's actually start watching this. This is going to be Season 3, Episode 3 of Attack on Titan, so here we go. I assume she didn't know until later who she actually was then.
家の仕事をしている姿は見たことがありません。夜になると誰かが馬車で迎えに来て、派手に着飾った母を乗せて町に行きました。しかし字の読み書きを覚え、母の真似事で本を読み出した時、どの本にも親は子供に関心を示し、話しかけたり抱いたり叱ったりするものとして書かれていたのです。私にはそのどれも経験のないことでした。
Yeah, because she didn't have her dad around then, I assume.
母に抱きついてみることにしました。お母さ
ん！Alright.
結果は突き飛ばされただけでしたが。
So she was like ashamed to have her?
こいつ
つを殺す勇気が私にあれば。
That's rough, dude.
それが母が私に発した最初の言葉。
Jesus Christ.
そして5年前のあの日、ウォールマリアが陥落して数日経った夜、私は初めて父と会いました。
Oh, wow.
ヒストリア、これから私と暮らすぞ。
困りますな、レイス卿。このような真似はご容赦いただきたい。
Oh, that's Kenny.
マリアが破られたことで不安に襲われましたか？
お母さん、違う。私はこの子の母親ではありません。私とは何の関係もありません。
仕方ない。この二人は私と何の関係もない。
やはりそうでしたか。
何を。
お前は存在しなかった。
Oh, wow. They plan on
屋敷
killing
に
him.
勤めていたこともない。
お前さえ産まなければ。
Damn, dude. That is so tragic. Jesus Christ. Right in front of her.
待て。
He didn't actually plan on killing a kid, did he?
直前で父はある提案をしました。
君の名はクリスタ・レンズだ。
So I wonder what the actual deal is with the dad then, and like why he was being threatened like that, or you know.
許してくれ。お前を守るためにはああするしかなかったんだ。お前こそ王家の血を引く者だからだ。
Could the dad not have just made it known to the people that he was the rightful heir, and then
ヒストリア。
he should be all good? No, like these guys were
本当の王家なんだ。さあ、行こう、ヒストリア。すべてが始まった場所へ。
the place it all began. So that's the same farm, or
サネス、お前大丈夫か？
actually no, it's probably a different location.
お前まさか。
Yeah.
お前の声はもう聞きたくない。信じていたのに。
サニス、彼は何も話していない。私の作った作文を声に出して読んだ。それだけだ。
Oh boy. Well, that was a good tactic though. It worked. I just find it crazy how they've been able to keep this secret for so long, man.
おお、裏切ったのかよ。
本当に惨めだよ。おっさんが泣いてわめいて。
Grown ass man.
バーカ。そこでクソするだけの余生に生きがいでも見出してろ。じゃあな。
順番だ。役を降りても誰かがすぐに代わりを演じ始める。どうりでこの絵からなくならねえわけだ。
悪いね。散らかしちゃって。ゴキブリがいたんだよ。
Yeah, I'm sure that was.
だがお前の一撃で粉々に消し飛んだはずだ。
エレンが食われる。
ああ。エレンが思い出した会話の内容はこうだ。
Okay.
私を恨んでいるか。
君も人なんか食べたくなかっただろうし。
ベルトルトやライナー、兄の仲間を食べ
Oh, so maybe she actually wasn't aware of what she was doing, right?
人を食べても人には戻らない。しかし、ライナーたちの仲間なら、それは巨人化の能力を有した人間。
Yeah, this is exactly what I said, I think.
巨人がその能力を持つ人間を食べると人間
This is literally what I was
さらに
saying.
相手の能力を手に入れるんだ。つまり、もし王政が巨人を持っていれば、エレンはそいつに食われるだろう。
The government has a titan of their own. Is this also the titan that they were feeding Marco to, perhaps? Or
奴らがエレンを返してくれるわけじゃねえ。とにかく、その
what if that new king guy is like a titan?
すぐに出発の準備をしろ。
Surely. Surely the king guy is like, I don't
レ
know.
イスケの情報を伝えてくるよ。
失礼します。エルヴィン団長、ピクシス司令がお見えです。
どうしてくれ。
Man, I swear to God, Pixis is like the last guy that I would expect to have secrets. or like to be on the bad side, so to say. But I've always wondered, like, what if he would somehow be involved? I don't think he is, but if he was, that would be the most heartbreaking thing. Overthrow the government. Oh man, this is definitely reaching a whole different kind of proportion now.
この狭い世界の中に人を留め続けることに限界を迎える日が、そしてその時が来れば、わしも王に銃口を向けねばなるまいと。
I mean that, yeah. Pixis is a good guy.
今回の計画において武力を行使するつもりはありません。ただ、それが叶うのに最も重要な根拠がまだ。もしその根拠が違っていれば、我々は皆首をくくることになるでしょう。
ああ、なんじゃ。
頼りは間もなく来るはずです。どうかそれまで私の子供の頃の話でも聞いてください。
ん？
私の父は教員でした。
なんだろう。
分隊長、今は。
あ、分かってるよ。失礼します。エルヴィン。
捕らえた中央憲兵が自白しました。レイスケが本当の王家です。
なんと。
現在リヴァイたちがエレンとヒストリアの救出に動いています。二人を奪還し、ヒストリアレースを女王に即位させます。
かりそめの王から冠を譲らせるわけか。真の女王に。
How are you even gonna do that, dude? Without spilling any blood. But you literally just said that they probably have their own Titan because they're trying to get Eren eaten. So, what does that mean?
エルヴィン団長、中央憲兵が団長に出頭を命じてます。組織殺人の容疑だと騒いでます。それも町のど真ん中で。
Okay, they're just setting him up.
敵もただ手をこまねいているばかりではないようだ。ハンジ、ここから離れる。
はあ？どうするつもり？
Man, what would we do without Erwin? Seriously.
表の顔を通す。次の調査兵団団長はハンジゾエ。
Oh wow.
調査兵団を任せたぞ。
彼が誰かわかるな、エルヴィン。
リーブス商会の会長。
Oh, yeah, right. He got killed.
リーブスの部下たちに襲われ連れ去られた。しかし、それは王政からのエレン引き渡し。
But the son actually witnessed what happened, right? Could they use him to prove who did it?
調査兵団は用済みになったリーブス会長を口封じのため殺害。ではここに同胞への重大な違反を認め、全調査兵の身柄を拘束する。
There he is.
親父。
Holy shit, man! They're like capturing all of them.
どうしますかこれから。
It's crazy how everybody is forced to go full on rogue now.
この無念、私が必ず。私の父は教員でした。100年の平和を。
Dude, why does this guy look exactly like that guy we saw on top of the monkey?
何一つ残すことができなかった。
Except with slightly shorter hair. I don't know if I'm just seeing things.
しかし私はあることを疑問に思い、父に質問しました。家に帰った後で父は私の質問に答えたのです。王政の配布する歴史書には数多くの謎と矛盾が存在すると。その後に続く父の話は子供ながらに突拍子もないと感じましたが、私が町の子供たちに父の話をして、その詳細を憲兵に尋ねられた日、父は家には帰ってこず、
Really?
遠く離れた町で事故に遭って死にました。今から107年前、この壁に逃げ込んだ人類は王によって統治しやすいように記憶を改ざんされた。それが父の仮説です。はい。
Wow, dude, this is like.
ずっと考えていました。
This is kind of what I've been saying from a very early point in the show on. Keeping their own system in place, brainwashing everybody. Exactly.
父は人の持つ欲と愚かな息子によって殺されたのです。そしていつの間にか父の仮説は私の中で真実となり、私の人生の使命は父の仮説を証明することとなったのです。
Interesting, man.
調査兵団が民間人を殺した。
俺が言った通りだろ。奴らはここで巨人同士を戦わせてめちゃくちゃにした連中だ。エレンって怪物を使って人類を滅ぼすつもりなんだ。
兵長、買い出し行ってきました。
They're just hiding in the woods.
町で憲兵がこんなものを。午後には山狩りが行われるというし、加えて主要な街道には検問が張られ、通行証がないと通り抜けは不可能です。兵長、どうしたら。
早くしないとエレンが。
落ち着け。
兵長、足音です。こっちに向かってきます。
Awesome. I feel like I'm starting to understand things a bit more, but maybe that's me being a little bit too confident in myself, but we'll see. Let's go through the review. Okay, well, this might seriously be the first time where I have the impression, now having seen this episode, that I actually had questions answered and not really any new ones being proposed to me or something. So that's actually very welcome for a change, especially after the crazy long intro that I obviously did at the beginning of this episode, laying out everything that was still going on in my mind. There is one detail that I can't help but having to start with here because it's just on my mind. And it's like, I'm sorry, because this is pure speculation, but it is Erwin's dad who we saw. Because that dad, like, the way he looked seriously reminded me of that guy who we saw on top of the Beast Titan. Except that on the Beast Titan he had longer hair or something. I think that was literally it, but I feel like he had those same round glasses, the same beard, blonde hair obviously. And Erwin mentioned how he presumes that his dad got killed, but he's never seen his dad anymore. So the dad might have been able to actually escape, or might have been able to make it out alive, or something happened to him. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know if he's... yeah, I don't know what the whole deal with that is, but the dad knew more, and that was what was so fascinating about it. Like, the dad clearly, he had his own theories, and he theorized something that I've been saying about this show from very early on. I don't know exactly when I started coming up with this theory, but I've definitely been talking for a long time about how it seems like the whole setup here with the three walls and the high-class people in the middle and everything like that seems like these powerful people, these rich people, these intelligent people, they have sort of a system that they're trying to keep intact, and they're using these regular citizens that are in their little cities being protected from the Titans kind of as like pawns, and kind of just, yeah, again, I mean, the dad literally said it apparently here, that they brainwashed them at some point and wiped their memories in some way to allow this, while they are keeping sort of like the wealth and their nice prosperous life in the middle there of the whole region intact. Yeah, and this again, like, I guess the biggest question that I'm then asking myself is, so like, okay, so if we are actually then dealing with a good versus evil type situation, and just with like, okay, these are the actual sort of enemies, so to say, does that mean that it's Reiner, Berthold, and Annie that's kind of working for them for some reason? That's still what I wonder about. Are they, and why are they doing so, right? Again, like, what is the motivation behind it? This is, I mean, it once again makes sense with that scene that we saw of Ymir that I also mentioned in the intro, where she was standing on top of the wall, she was being kicked off, and it seemed that in that moment she was actually turned into a Titan. And so again, like these that just made it seem like the powerful people, they turn all the people that they don't like into Titans or something, right? Or they punished her that way. And she was able to turn back and kind of steal the power back by killing that friend that Reiner had. And I guess, Reiner again and his friend there who got killed, they were part of the system, so to say. Man, it's, again, I'm just happy to see that, like, I feel like things are starting to become a little bit more clear to me. And of course, I could be completely off, and I'm saying this maybe sounding like I'm convinced about it myself. I'm not 100% convinced about it, but I feel like I'm definitely thinking in the right direction now. And like I said, that's very welcome for a change. So I really enjoyed this episode because it was an episode very much, I feel, of answers. Yeah, really enjoyed it. So, of course, let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you want, you can already watch the next 5 episodes over on Patreon, which is linked on top of the description. You can check those out. You can check out my reactions to the OVAs that I've watched so far, 5 in total, full-length reactions. Join our little Discord community and talk more about the show and about the last season that you're all probably watching right now with people in my community. Yeah, that would be awesome to see. And then for now, I want to thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.